Hi BookTube, here I am today with part 1 of my May wrap up. I've ordered these books in the order of how much I like them. So starting with the lowest to the highest. So I'll start with the first one, and the first one is graphic novel Low, Volume 1 by Rick Remender and Greg Tashini. This was okay. It's a story of a dystopian future where society has had to move to the bottom of the sea because the natural world is no longer viable and resources are running out under the sea. And it's a good story and I liked it, but what I didn't like about it was I felt it was quite misogynist in its approach and quite sexist. It's like all the women have either got the breasts hanging out or wearing scantily clad clothes where the boobs are hanging out, but the men are dressed normally, and I just found it a bit, I just thought, this just seems to be like a little bit of soft porn objectifying women, and it did distract me from the story really. And that's kind of what I didn't, I mean, you know, I've got no problems with sexual content if it's appropriate, but it just seemed to like boobs and women wearing bits of string for the sake of it, but men dressed otherwise. So I'm going to give Volume 2 a go because I did quite like the story, but that just sort of bothered me. The next one was The Gigantic Beard That Was Evil by Stephen Collins, and this is a huge sort of graphic novel, a standalone, and it's all done. The drawings in it are absolutely beautiful. And this is sort of a story of an island called Here, which is surrounded by the sea, and on the other side of the sea is there's the map, if you can see the map. And the story takes place here, and here is where everything is ordered, everything is organised, everything's uniform, people sort of are very tidy, the gardens all look the same, all the trees are in, you know, an order down the streets. People certainly don't have beards, and the guy in it starts to grow a beard, and obviously then things start to fall apart because he's growing a beard, because, you know, he's becoming dysfunctional and it won't go if he tries to cut it, and he becomes a bit of an outcast. And so I liked it. I liked that it was trying to say what it was trying to say, and yeah, it was okay, but yeah, just okay. It's worth a read, but okay. The next one I've got to show you is a novel, and that's Hitman Anders and the Meaning of It All by Jonas Jonasson. This was, it's a story of, it's a bit of a jolly crime caper really. Hitman Anders has been in jail for a few murders. He comes out, he meets a priest who doesn't believe in God, who then meets a misplaced hotel receptionist, and then they get together, and the receptionist and the priest decide to exploit the hitman to go and carry out acts of thuggery against people for money. He doesn't kill them, but he does beat them up, and they're living off the income of that. And then it's obviously then it's the jolly japes that ensue from that. It's quite like, it's like a black comedy. It's a fun read. I do quite like the writing style. What I didn't like about it was I didn't really engage with any of the characters in it. I didn't like any of them. I didn't have any empathy for them, and so I didn't really care whether things went their way or not. So yeah, so it was a good read, but yeah, left me feeling a bit meh. The next one is just a small little pamphlet, and that's We Should All Be Feminist by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. And this is the transcript of a TED talk that she did about feminism. I don't think there's any sort of great new insights into feminism reading this, but what it is good is it sort of it shows you really how women fare in somewhere like Nigeria and the culture that she comes from, and to hear her voice speak out against what she's grown up and known is quite And it makes you feel good that actually out of all of that there is, you know, a new way of thinking coming from that. So it's worth the read, and it's only a little quickie. The next one is another graphic novel, and this is Sunstone Volume 1. And this is by Stepan Sajic. She's a Croatian author, writer. I quite enjoyed this. This is the beginning. There's quite a few in the series. I think there's about 6 at the minute. And it's a story of a lesbian couple who meet for the first time and start to explore the sexuality, and that involves BDSM. But there isn't anything sensational about it or seedy about it. It's actually all within context and just exploring another side of human sexuality. It's a good story, quite like the characters, so I'm going to continue on the series, so quite enjoyed that one. And the next one is also, as you can tell, I'm getting into my graphic novels now. It's Sagar Volume 1, and this is by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. And this is the story of 2 planets at war with each other, but what they do is they carry out the war on a proxy planet. So their own planets are fine, but they fight elsewhere. And the 2 characters in it are from the opposite sides of the war, and they fall in love and they have a child, and it's the struggle to survive, and obviously that they don't fit in anywhere, they don't belong anywhere, they're outcasts by their own kind and obviously the enemy. And I really enjoyed this story. It's really really good. I like the characters. They seem quite real. They're not ridiculous. They seem sort of like people you would actually know. So yeah, I think there's about 6 volumes of this so far, so I'm definitely going to carry on with this series. I do quite like the artwork in it as well. It's a really nice colour palette, lovely glossy finishes, so I like that one. And then the final one I've got to show you is The Lie Tree by Frances Hardinge. Oh, this book is so wonderful. This is a children's book, and it won the Costa Book of the Year prize last year and beat all the other adult novels and everything. I loved this book. It is absolutely fantastic. It's the story of a family who the father he's sort of like a paleontologist. He's reverend, but he's a paleontologist, and he's one of these, you know, Victorian explorers who's been all over the world and bringing back samples and things. He's just sort of into all the natural sciences, and for some reason they have to suddenly leave the comfortable life in Kent and go and live on an island. But there is a dig on the island looking at fossils. Now our father apparently is quite celebrated because he's found these fossils that are unique, never been found before, so he's quite renowned, and he'd been invited to the island to come and work with the dig. And then all of a sudden he's shunned by everybody on the island. Later her father's body is found in mysterious circumstances, and her mother, who's quite cold, is trying to make it desperately not look like it's a suicide. It isn't a suicide, it's a murder, but it could be construed as that. And then it's all about what happens from there, and there's lots of magical realism. There's the lie tree itself is actually one of her father's samples that she discovers because she goes with him to a cave at night to hide it because it can only live in the dark. And you feed it lies. So you feed the tree lies, and from then it grows a fruit, and you eat the fruit and it tells you the truth. And it's dark, it's gothic. The main character, Faith, is one of my absolute now favourite characters of all time. She's wonderful, she's so intelligent, she's plucky, she's brave, she doesn't take any crap, but at the same time she's human, she's vulnerable, she gets scared, and I absolutely love her. I cannot rate this book highly enough. Everybody should read it. It is absolutely fantastic. One of the best books I've read this year. So yeah, definitely everybody, if you've not read it, go and get The Lie Tree. You will love it. So yeah, so let me know if you've read any of these books and what you think of them. Let me know what you're reading. Let me know if you've read The Lie Tree in particular, or if you fancy reading it, and because definitely go read it now. And I'll see you all soon. Bye!